That's awesome, man. Yeah, we talk about that. We've talked about it a few times actually about being an artist and creative, honestly, and how I'd say even 5, 10 years ago, and even still today, people want to put you in a box and say, this is what you're going to do, this is all you can do, and this is the only way you're going to have success. But now it's like, in the acting space, I know firsthand, it's like before, if you shot commercials, you couldn't do TV. Then if you did TV, you couldn't do, film and so on and so forth. But now it's like, well, if you're not doing all of it, or if you're not doing what the hell you want, if you want to get behind the camera, direct, if this is what's true to you, go tell that story, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what anyone else is going to think. And I feel like the most success, or at least the most successful people that I've seen, are doing their fucking thing their way. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
That's the most fun to watch, really.
I've read McConaughey's book.
Yeah.
But on this road trip, we had like 6 hours to come home from Arkansas, and I would listen to it because I was in an Airstream. I know he's a big Airstream guy, but I was doing that trip, so I was like, I'm going to listen to this just to see if I can pick up anything else. That's what he did. I mean, he had A Time to Kill, and he was like off to the races after that. And instead of going and doing something huge, he chose a couple a little bit more different films that didn't explode. But he was learning who he was, and he was figuring out who he was. And then he became the shirtless on the beach rom-com guy. And listen to him talk, I respect it because he talked about like, that's just where I was in life. And I got a lot of respect for him recognizing that. And then he recognized it, didn't love where it was, and changed it. And he did Mud. He did True Detectives.
One of my favorite seasons.
True Detective.
TV,
incredible. Like he changed people's opinion because he did what he wanted to do, which wasn't probably the popular thing at the time.
And Peter Berg told me like early on, right out of college, like whatever film you decide to get involved in and like try to produce, you better fucking love that topic and like, because you're going to be immersed in it. It's going to follow you forever, and like, just make sure you love it.
Yeah.
And, you look at what his career, you like talk about leading by example, like, Friday Night Lights, what does he do? He goes and lives in Texas. He does Lone Survivor. What does he do? He spends time with the military. And like, that's what he loves. And like, that's what he's all about. So like, when you talk about like a method director, right? But like, do what you're passionate about. And, if you're not, then what are you doing?
Man, it's, that's cool to hear. Yeah. Go live in Texas type thing. This album, like I said, I had two years now to live a different life than touring. When you're touring, it's pretty easy to get caught up for me, it was pretty easy to get caught up in the, what's a hit? I need a hit. Oh, I need this song for the album, so they'll sing it back to me, which takes you away from, I need to put out good music. I need to sing the songs that are in the right key. I need to sing topics I give a shit about. I need to sing with the production that I like, as opposed to just a wall of noise with fake drums everywhere. And that helped me realize, God dang, my manager's called me twice. Okay, he hung up. That's usually not good.
we can take a break.
We're good if he calls me again. Right. But I'm looking at the list. Walk That Easy. I wrote that in Alabama. All Dogs Go to Hell was the only song on this record that I wrote on 16th Avenue, which is Music Row. Key West in Colorado, I wrote that on a yacht, or not, whatever, sport fisher down in Florida. Bench Seat, I wrote in my kitchen by myself. Life Part of Living, same thing. All these songs were written, Oklahoma was basically written, that was written in Alabama too, but it was right coming off the heels of my trip to Oklahoma. I went to these places. Half these songs were written in Montana, which is places that I love.
Love Montana.
And that inspired a lot of the sounds. Like Oklahoma, we were listening last night, has a 4.5 minute outro.
That's sick.
And producer and I were talking. It's like, man, let's cut this down on the record, then put out a full version of it. Fuck that. Let's put out a full version of it on the record. Like if you want to skip it, it ain't a tape. Just press next.
Yeah.
So we're putting all these songs came from real life experiences. And Goodnight Nancy was it's about that lady at the bar that's like always there. You just love walking in, you know she's going to be there.
Yeah.
And that was about the lady at Floribama because we went the night before. So it's real life experiences. 4 Days, the one about my dad. It's just me and an acoustic guitar. And man, it's just real songs, man. It's real life for me.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the success of it, man. I'm sure it's going to do well, dude. And it's going to be cool to see you like from here on now. Because, dude, I mean, honestly, I love your music.
Thank you.
Up into now anyways, dude, man. So it's going to be even cooler see you step into it to where you really want to create what you want to create, man.
Yeah. And this is our first record with Oscar Charles. And he's not had a boatload of success, man. He's like, LV Shane would be the only number one I think he's had as a producer, which I love getting in there and creating a sound with him as opposed to going in with another producer who's created a sound already the last 10 years. I love going in and Oscar and I are creating something that we're not even sure of. So it's kind of fun, man.
Yeah, man.
As a fan or a spectator from the outside, you can't really tell kind of what's going on behind the scenes. You just say, I like that track. He's talented. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's really cool to hear more.
Yeah, this is an album. It's just weird to say that because the last album was called The Album, which is, I don't know what happened there. But I kept calling it The Album to the label and stuff. Like, what are we going to do this for the album? So like, fuck it, let's just call it The Album. And I put it out in 3 parts. So it was part 1, 2, 3. This is the first real full album like that you could put on a record back before a tape, before you could just skip, playlist, all this shit. This is the first full album that I'll have ever put out. And I really believe that now. Finally, it's like, because it was all recorded, one producer, one place, one moment. And even if we go in and record something else right now, it's not making its way into this. Even if it's a huge hit.
Wow.
We're not doing it. I'll save that for the next one.
That's great, man.
Our horror film is called The Resort, has like a working title because we shoot at a resort in Maui.
Yeah.
And we just kept the title.
It's easy. It's right in front of your face. Take it.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video.
And subscribe and hit the bell for a whole lot more to come.
Thanks for tuning in to Studio 22.